My name is Billy Roberts, and I'm with Locust. If you're not familiar with us, we are a community development financial institution that provides lending, investing, and community innovation services. We are happy to partner with the Washington County Chamber of Commerce, Virginia Highlands Small Business Incubator, and the town of Abingdon to present this business and organizational skill development. This program was started in 2014 to support Washington County Business Challenge competitors and has become one of the oldest running business training programs in Virginia. Today's session is about digital advertising, what's new with Meta and Google, and will be recorded for training and educational purposes. And we'll go ahead and I think we'll monitor the chat as we go through. Sometimes the speakers are interactive, so I'll help you guys try to keep up with that as we go. But please let us welcome Melanie Harris. She is a senior account executive at Letterpress Communications, where she's had the best job ever for nearly 3 years. I love that. With a career in marketing that spans nearly 2 decades, Melanie brings a wealth of experience in both traditional and digital marketing strategies. She's especially passionate about leveraging the power of digital advertising, having begun her career shortly before Facebook went public and changed the landscape of marketing forever. Cool. In her current role, Melanie serves as the resident advertising expert, helping clients develop strategies that resonate with their target audiences. She thrives on understanding consumer behavior and using data-driven insights to anticipate needs and drive engagement. Her favorite part of the job is studying patterns and trends in the ever-evolving marketing landscape, always staying ahead of the curve to deliver impactful campaigns. Out of work, Melanie is a proud mother of two, Sophia 12 and Cody 10 weeks. 10 weeks, wow. She also shares her home with 3 dogs and a horse named Tonga. Very cool. Also, let's welcome Jennifer Kine. She's a dedicated communication specialist with extensive experience in social media management, community engagement, and event planning. Currently serving as the social media manager and account executive at Letterpress Communications, Jennifer excels in content creation, social media strategy, and fostering strong community connections. Her professional journey includes roles as the director of marketing at the Farmville Area Chamber of Commerce, where she managed finances, planned events, and led social media efforts. And as the family and community engagement liaison for Prince Edward County Public Schools, where she's cultivated community relationships and handled media communications. Jennifer's academic background includes a bachelor's degree in professional studies from Charleston Southern University and an associate's degree from Southside Virginia Community College. She's proficient in various digital tools, including Microsoft Word, Google Suites, Constant Contact, and Canva. Passionate about her community and service, Jennifer is involved in numerous area nonprofits. Outside of work, she enjoys coffee, cheese, social media, and spending time with her dogs. Energetic, organized, and a true team player, Jennifer is committed to making a positive impact in her professional and her personal life. Welcome, Melanie and Jennifer, and thank you all for spending your time with us today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
I'm like, who are those people that you just introduced?
Very cool.
All right. So I know Jean had asked before, we are happy to answer questions as we go through the slides. So don't feel like you have to wait till the end. If you've got something, a burning question that you want to dive into, just, I don't know if Zoom does that, raise your hand or just speak up and we will pause and answer questions. But we are going to kick it off with Melanie is going to talk to you about Google advertising.
All right, we're jumping in. Here is a picture of our full team. We've had a couple of people that are no longer with us and a couple of new faces as well, one particularly from Bristol, Virginia. So if you guys know Rhonda Gentry, she's now working with us and our team and we love her. All right, Google Ads. So I see that our experience with Google Ads is kind of varied. We have someone who is kind of the resident expert, all into people that have never really worked with Google Ads before. And I will say that personally, I love Google Ads because I think they can work for any business and any organization. Um, and there are many different types of campaigns to kind of meet those needs. Um, so, for example, if your goal is awareness, if you're a new business, if you're a new organization, if you're just trying to get people in the door or get people talking about your organization, I love display ads. We've had a lot of success with display ads for tourism campaigns and for little contests that we've run, sweepstakes. Um, if you are looking for people to consider your brand or your organization in their search for services or products like yours, obviously search is kind of the most popular Google ad. You put your keywords in and they match it up to people that are searching for things that are similar to what you're doing. And then if you're really looking to drive sales, I also think search ads are a great option. And then also shopping ads. But the one we're going to talk about right now is Performance Max or PMax campaigns. It happens to be my personal favorite kind of ad campaign that Google is offering right now. It's great for awareness, consideration, and lead generation. And what I really like about it is that Google takes all of your information that you're putting in as far as who you want to target and what messaging you want, and it matches your ads to people that they think will convert. And it does it on a variety of their platforms. So YouTube is owned by Google. So if your audience is, using Google or using YouTube as a primary source of information or entertainment, they're going to start receiving your ads on that platform. Or if they're visiting a bunch of different websites, they'll start receiving display ads. Or if your organization is local to them, they might see an ad on their Google Maps. And I just like this because it meets your audience where they are across a variety of platforms. And you don't have to kind of do the math about, well, where should I be focusing my money and my attention? And I've seen really, really good success. And also, it opens it up for kind of these dynamic ads. You're not limited to just search. There's an opportunity to upload videos, to create little display ads with photos, and then also to have the more traditional search ads as well. Something that Google also does that is kind of new or new within the last year is you can give them, oh, I'm not ready for that slide yet. You can give them your photos, your videos, your keywords. You can give them a few headlines and descriptions and some photos, and then they kind of combine them to best reach that audience on that specific Google channel. Something that it sounds great, right? As you're like, Google will do all the work for me. Something that I've noticed that I just kind of wanted to flag here is that they don't always match up really well. So my advice to you, if you were creating a PMax campaign, is to go back and review very carefully the kinds of examples that they're giving, because they will generate previews for you. But also, if you are a company, let's just give an example. If you are marketing dog food or pet food, we'll say, You would probably want to go ahead and create a campaign that is for dog food, or an ad set that is for dog food and an ad set that is for cat food, and not try to mix and match the two, because the next thing you'll know, AI is smart, but it's not always the smartest, or not always smart in the way that we need it to be for these types of things. So it could be possible that they will show your headline about dog food with a photo of someone's cat or a cat bed. So just keep that in mind when you're creating those ads, because they do tend to not always do the best job, but there is a lot of opportunity there to streamline the process and create some really, really successful ads um, with the PMAX campaigns. All right, Jen. The next one we're going to talk about are YouTube Shorts. TikTok has kind of been in the media and no one's really sure what's going to happen with it. And we've also had the success of Reels on Instagram. And so, what was it, earlier this year? YouTube was like, we're going to do that too. And for people like my 12-year-old daughter who are not allowed to use TikTok, this has become revolutionary, because she can get all of the same content from TikTok on Google or on YouTube, and I can monitor it. And so with the creation of that, Google expanded their video ads to include ads on Shorts. And I will say, I told Jen, because we were in a meeting together earlier, my daughter actually sent me, or came downstairs and was so excited because one of my ads that she knew for one of my clients was on her YouTube Shorts this morning, and she ran down the stairs to show me. But this particular campaign is great. You're reaching a different audience. You're reaching those like doom scrollers, the people that are maybe watching YouTube Shorts instead of TikTok or instead of Reels, or even along with that. And you have the opportunity to use your Google Ads platform to reach these people with these YouTube Shorts ads, and in conjunction with the more traditional video ads that YouTube has offered for several years. I just kind of went through and created like an anatomy of what I thought made a good YouTube short ad. This one is for HelloFresh. If you're not familiar with HelloFresh, you've probably been living under a rock, because they have pretty heavy marketing. I get little cards, and a lot of the things that I order online, they're all over it. But this is a great way. You don't have to create like a commercial or a specific video. This is a great way to repurpose content that you already have. One thing I will say is that it does need to be in the vertical format, like you're filming a reel. You want to make sure that Google can go in and capture a 6-second preview to go with your ad, but it does let you kind of choose what that preview is. But you want to make sure that there's some sort of introduction in your video that makes sense, and you're not cutting someone off mid-word or whatever it may be. And you also want it to be not, and you don't want it to feel like a commercial. You don't want it to feel like a disruption to that scrolling, that mindless one after the other video. So I recommend using something that is educational and entertaining, so that your audience is consuming what you're saying and they're thinking about your brand, but they don't feel like it's a disruption. A lot of times when I'm watching or streaming, because we don't really watch TV, but streaming something and an ad comes on, you're like, ugh, this is annoying. And you're just like waiting for the second that you can skip it. But if you do it right, there is an opportunity to have successful video campaign. Making sure that you have some sort of text over video so that if it's muted, they still know what you're talking about, including your logo, including your website, and then creating a call to action. So you want to make sure that this kind of aligns with what your audience may be interested in doing. I think a great call to action and an option that Google offers is just learn more. And if you can just have that learn more and direct them to the website, then they can take next steps. Or if you want them to sign up for a subscription, like HelloFresh does, asking them to sign up, but just making it clear so that those who are interested will click, and it's not just leaving it open ended to kind of like visit our website or whatever. Next one. This is something that I am kind of obsessed with. I love audience targeting. That's why I enjoy working with Google Ads. It's why I enjoy working with Meta Ads. Obviously, those two entities have all of our information. They know our every move. Google is fully aware of our search history, what we're watching on YouTube, where we're located, because they are constantly in touch with us on our phones and on our TVs and on our laptops. So when it comes to audience targeting, they have a wealth of information and people that they are ready to match your ads to these folks. A couple of different things that they're doing or that have expanded recently are customer match list. I will say this one is probably the best and also the most controversial. This involves uploading a list of your customers who are already working with your organization or making purchases or subscribing to your email list. And then Google will take that information because they know a lot of those people on those lists and then match them up with other people that have similar buying habits or similar demographic information. And so you're reaching an audience that is already similar to the one that you have, and Google is kind of doing all the work. You can also, within the Google Ads platform, create custom audiences. And this is just like a one-time thing. You build out this audience. You can say, I want women 35 to 42 who are interested in gardening and live in Abingdon. And you can target all the people that Google has on their radar in that category, and you can save that custom audience to be used again and again and again, instead of anytime you start a new campaign, you've got to go in there and figure out where everything is and select all the individual things. It will just give you an option to go into your custom audiences and select it. And you can create new ones, you can update your current ones, but it's a great tool, kind of one-time thing. There's also location-based targeting. We've found this really useful when working with tourism clients. There's kind of a recommended targeting for the Virginia tourism. So to go in and say, I want to target this part of North Carolina and these people up in DC, and I want to bring them to one I did recently was St. Paul. But I will say you want to make sure that when you are selecting them, there's two options for location targeting. You have people that are interested in or are present in that area. So that works great for tourism, because even if they're not from there, they might be interested in Virginia or travel a lot to Virginia. So great. But then I've also worked with Longwood College of Graduate and Professional Studies, where I was getting all of this overseas traffic to my Google ads and I was like, why is this happening? I'm targeting, Virginia. And it's because I had selected the interest in and not the presence in. So when I kind of dove into why this was happening and why, even though I was targeting only the United States, I was still getting all of this overseas traffic. That was the reason why. And it seems to be a common issue with Google. And obviously, if you have a local business, chances are someone is not going to come from Europe to patronize your business, and you want to spend your money within an audience that is going to likely convert or learn more or interact with your business in a way that you have your ads set up for. And then we also have in-market audiences, which is really cool. You can select this when you're creating your search ads, and it matches your search ads with people that Google knows are already searching for products similar to yours or shopping for those products or visiting websites that are similar to the website that you've entered into your ad campaign. So that's another way to get like really strong lead generation instead of kind of guessing what people might be searching for, guessing your audience. If you have a broader audience, that's a great tool that Google is offering. All right, before I continue talking about AI, does anyone have any questions? Um, Obviously, the buzz this year, and particularly within our company, is how are we using AI? What is AI offering? Is it worth it? Are people, is it better than having a human do the work? How much work and time is it actually saving? And I'm still kind of on the fence. There are different things that I find beneficial, and there are different things that I wish didn't exist. But here are some AI features in Google Ads that I think are working really well. The first one is smart bidding. Before, you could kind of allow Google to bid on your ads, and that basically kind of entails taking what you've designated as your budget, and usually it's a daily budget. There are some campaigns within Google that are like by campaign. I know video campaigns is one of them. And then obviously there are a ton of different opportunities to show your ad, but you want to make sure that your ad is being shown, top level, first results on Google, getting to, your more primary audience, the most likely to convert. And that's hard. So with smart bidding, Google will take a bunch of different um, elements and create an algorithm of an audience that is most likely to convert if that's your goal, or click if that's your goal, or just if impressions is your goal, then putting those impressions in front of a really strong audience for you. And like most things in life, the campaign with the most money wins. So it kind of spends your money wisely. And I've had really good luck with it. Something that I have done is gone back and assigned conversion values for my conversions. So if I think people, if I want to bid for, conversions like in-store traffic along with clicks, I would assign in-store traffic as my primary conversion and say, this conversion value is $2, whereas clicks is $1. And over time, it'll make suggestions so that you get better bang for your buck. But that's a great place to start and to let Google know what your priorities are as far as results for your campaign. AI generated and suggested copy. If you are creating any kind of campaign that requires you to enter headlines and descriptions, once you have entered your website, it will borrow information from your website or compare your website to other websites like it and suggest um, copy or headlines that it thinks that you should use. These are great because they typically, if Google is suggesting it, they want you to use it. You just need to make sure that it matches your brand or your organization. Obviously, if it's suggesting shop now, but you don't sell anything online, that's not a good idea. Or sometimes it just gets really fluffy. And I've noticed this with Meta too. It gets really weird sometimes. And you're like, yeah, I'm not using that. But it does help you. Maybe if you aren't using their suggested copy exactly, you can kind of, go in and edit it and make it your own, but you're not starting from scratch and sitting there trying to figure out what it is you want to say. And then something that I learned recently is keyword insertion for headlines and descriptions. If you use brackets when you are creating your headlines and descriptions and you insert keywords within those brackets, um, it lets Google know that you are interested in serving those ads to people who are looking for that specific thing. Um, and that has been really helpful. It also improves the overall score of your campaign, which makes Google want to serve it more. Um, so that has been really helpful for me. And then it will also generate images and videos for you, whether they are taking images from your website or videos from your website or compiling images that are in your Google library to create videos. Um, this can be really helpful if you don't have a very big photography budget or if you don't have any, branded videos, but you really want to create a PMAX campaign. The only issue is you just want to make sure that you look at the preview before you hit submit or before you finalize your campaign because they're not always right. And then the last one that I've also found really helpful is with site links. These are primarily used in search campaigns. So you'll have your ad, it'll direct to a specific page on your site, but there are other opportunities below to include, if you're, a pet food company and your ad says dog food, but you also sell bird food and cat food and horse food, you could have links below that are like, um, about us or shop cat food or shop bird food because a lot of us have more than one animal because once you start, it's hard to say no to another four-legged friend. So Google will go in and once you've entered your website as the destination, it will start looking for other relevant site links that you may want to add. And sometimes they're really great and sometimes they're not. So they're doing work for you, but you still kind of have to monitor it, just like a lot of the other AI features that we'll talk about today. Any questions about that? All right, I'm going to turn it over to my best good friend, Jen Kenny, and she's going to continue with Meta.
All right, guys. Meta ads. So most of you said you had been playing with Meta ads, but not so much Google. So hopefully you'll learn a couple of tips and tricks here. Start off, if you guys have your phones out and you want to take a screenshot, or if you want to click on this QR code, this is just a quick and dirty social media Meta advertising worksheet. If you're just starting out and you haven't run Meta ads before, this is like a little way that you can kind of fill out the worksheet before you go in, because it can be a little daunting when you get in the back end of the business suite or an ads manager to run your ads. And so For those of you just starting out, we like to use this worksheet so that you can kind of write everything down in front of you and see where you need to go. We also have like the recommended ad budget in here, depending on whether you're a business to business or business to consumer. So this is just a little free download that you're welcome to take. All right, so Melanie talked a little bit about AI, and we all know that it is here. It's not going away. Some of us are scared of it, some of us hate it, and some of us are embracing it. So I'm going to encourage you to embrace it because it is here to stay, and it's only going to get smarter. So there's several different ways Meta is using AI right now. When you go into Ads Manager and you put in your copy of what you want your ad to say, Meta will then suggest other options for your copy. And like Melanie said about Google, Meta does the same thing. I'll give you an example. If my audience is for an interior designer, I want my content to talk about the interior designer's clients. And a lot of times when I put in an interior designer text or copy, Meta AI sends back all of this additional copy that tells my interior designer to shop for her home or buy this couch for your house. And I have to go in, and if I accept some of their text, I have to edit it to say, no, my interior designer audience is buying for their customers, not for their own house. And so I have to edit a lot of that text so that it matches my audience. So it's smart, but it's not the smartest. And so you do have to continue to monitor that and make your edits. I think people are scared that AI is going to take over and you're not going to have a job. And I'm here to say that is not true. AI is an additional tool in your tool belt, but it is not everything. And so you definitely still need to monitor. And I think there's the other side of people who are like, ooh, AI, here, do my job. And then we end up with a lot of mistakes. So you need to make sure that you are working with AI, that you are not having AI just do the work for you. For Meta's alternatives, you can tweak them and you don't have to use all of them. They usually offer you 5 or 6 choices. You can pick one, you can pick none. And Meta, when you're doing your ads, will have a little pop-up for you that will say, hey, you turned off all of our alternatives. You're only using 5 of 6 of our suggestions. And you know what? That's all I'm using today. I didn't like your 6 suggestions, so I'm not going to use it. And you just ignore the little pop-up. I will tell you that the more of their suggestions that you use, the more you will be rewarded when they offer you something. Just like with Google Ads, you should try it because then they are going to serve your ads to more people if you're trying their suggestions. If you choose Meta's ad copy, obviously you will have several different versions of your ads that will appear to different people, and sometimes the same people, but they will get a different text or maybe a different photo. Meta is reporting an 11% higher click-through rate when you use its AI. So keep that in mind when I talked about it rewarding you. There's data to back that up. Oh, I see some. Carly, some are captivating. However, I see things. Yes, I feel someone is monitoring my thread. Yep, they're always watching. Go to the website to purchase and more ads. Yep, I agree, you guys. All right, let's see. What is next? All right, again, using Meta AI. So Meta has come out with the Advantage Plus audience. And what they're saying is when you are targeting, again, I'll just say we're targeting our interior designers. Meta AI is saying that it knows who you should be serving your ads to better than you do. So it has, when you go into your ad, you'll see that it is already automatically checked that you will be using Advantage Plus. Now you can uncheck that, but I would not suggest it because again, Meta wants you to use it or it would not already be the default. However, then you can go down and still add some of your suggestions. And they have come right out and said, these are suggestions. Now, what you want to be careful of is you want to go in and monitor your ads after they're running because if you're using Advantage Plus and say you suggest, I want my customers to only be people in Virginia, and I want you to only serve it to people that are ages 35 to 65 who have an annual household income in the top 10%. Well, you want to go in and check every few days to make sure that your ads aren't being served in another country, or that they aren't being served to somebody that has nothing to do with buying what you are selling. And then you want to put in more of those attributes. And so that's how Meta AI is learning. It's basically going off of your past ads and saying, well, you always target this. So we know that these are the people we want to serve your ads to. And so you do have to be careful. And I would still make those suggestions because sometimes they can get a little outlandish. They're doing better. Like I said, AI is going to continue to get smarter. But there is still grounds to say you still need to create audiences. I'm going to have a different audience for people who are purchasing for their home versus people who are purchasing for someone else's home. I'm going to have a different audience for tourism. If I want people to come to Prince Edward County, I don't want to target people who are already in Prince Edward County. So I'm going to target people who are 30 miles outside of Prince Edward County. And so the more that I continue to remind Meta plus click Advantage Plus, the more Meta is going to learn and take me to the right customers. All right, broad targeting. So this has been sort of a buzzword in 2024. I see a question. Let's see what you got. No, thank you, Justin. I appreciate that. Used to be, we talked about, we have all of these attributes. You can put in, what this person likes to read Home Magazine, or this person has a dog, or this person has a household income of whatever. It used to be that you'd want to go through and click, I want men to see this ad. I want them to be ages 35 to 45. A lot of those options are still there. You'll notice that some of them are not. Over the past few years, you'll get like an email from Meta that will say, hey, this in the next 30 days, this attribute will go away. And then this one will go away. And then they came out with the special audiences that you had to check off if you were doing something with finance or real estate or housing. And so targeting is slowly going away piece by piece. And why is that? Because we have the cookies now. We can check off if we want to be targeted. iOS came out with that update a few years back that we could check off if we wanted to be monitored. Meta had a big scandal with the whole Cambridge Analytica where all this stuff was leaked. And so all of these things have led up to our privacy really being our privacy was being taken advantage of. And so now we have more say over what we are being targeted for. And so because of that, all of these little targeting attributes are going away, which means then we have to start broad targeting as a person who runs ads, right? So that, because otherwise we're not going to be able to catch anybody. And so just kind of keep that in mind. There are those attributes still in there, but targeting a little more broad needs to be your mindset moving forward because of all of these new security options in place for people to check that they don't want to be monitored. Any quiz? Everything is, you got to test it out because what might work for my furniture customer is not going to work for my tourism customer. And because Meta is constantly changing the rules, it's hard to keep up. And so what you did last quarter for advertising, when you go into the ads manager platform, Melanie and I see this every quarter where we go in and key in our ads. I'm like, last month I could do this and I had this button, and this month that's not an option. Like, it literally is changing so fast. And so while I can give you all these tips and tricks, it really is sort of a plug and play and see how it does. I wouldn't go throwing the whole bank at your ads until you get really good at it, because you need to test a little, throw a couple $100 at it, see how it does. And then the next month, go back and evaluate your data. Did this work? Did that work? Okay, that one was great. This one failed. I'm going to move forward with that one for the next quarter. And so it really is sort of just a test, and evaluate. Ad creative and AI. So we talked a lot about text and AI, and I want to show you ad creative. Meta AI is probably one of the worst so far. This is the one that has not got smart as fast as like a Chat GPT. So I want you guys to look at this photo. Meta AI offers ad creative options. It's probably the one area where they do fall the most short. So again, I can't stress enough, don't always take their suggestions, really read and look at your creative. Does anybody see some of the mistakes? One of the biggest things that I'm seeing with Meta AI is that they struggle when you ask them to put text over photos. Almost always the text is not the same words that I gave them. If you look closely at this one, you'll see many of the children, their hands and feet are completely wonky. Some have no fingers, some have too many fingers, some have fingers where they're supposed to have feet. For some reason, Meta AI hands and feet, they can't get it. I mean, it is, sometimes it's hilarious, sometimes it's scary. And then also numbers. When you're asking Meta to put numbers over a picture, it really struggles. And so I'm sure that they're working on it, but this is probably one of the areas that you need to keep an eye on the most. All right, ad sizes. If you're running ads in Meta, you know that it asks for all these different sizes to go in each different placement on Meta, whether it's a messenger ad, a reel ad, a story ad. And so again, my guy, John Loomer, I love him. He offered this free template. So I screenshot it and put it in here for you guys. Because a lot of times if you're doing photography for your ads, you know, it's really hard. You're doing all your photography horizontal or you're doing all your photography vertical. And then when you get in there, it turns out it wants a square, a vertical, and a horizontal, all of that same ad to serve in all the different platforms. And you're like, oh my gosh, I just spent $5,000 on photography and I have one picture of this. Now what am I going to do? So this is the key to make sure that no matter what size the ad is, that what you really want the customer to see is in that center section. And so you're welcome to screenshot this. You'll get the slides, but you can see if you took this square and put it over this vertical, it's going to fit in the same place. And if you took the vertical and put it over the horizontal, it's going to fit in the same space. So this is the sweet spot on each of these ad formats to make sure that if you're doing photography or if you're doing text, that this is the sweet spot that you want to make sure in your graphic is showing when you do the ads. And so that way there you can still use all horizontal or all vertical or whatever. That's sort of your sweet spot. What are your predictions for where digital marketing is headed and how can businesses start preparing? I don't think digital marketing is going away. I think it is going to continue to get broader and broader. Your targeting is going to continue to get harder and harder because privacy laws are only going to get stronger. I think you need to make sure, and I think this is the hardest thing to do, and the easiest thing to cut is your marketing budget. And I know small businesses, it's really tough, and so it's hard to make the argument for marketing, but I don't think that that is where small businesses should be making their cuts. I think you need to make sure for 2025 that you have a marketing budget and that you are incorporating digital marketing. I think you need to make sure that you are doing community engagement, even with your digital marketing. I think a lot of people are using social media. You know, one of the things I've always said is I love social media for marketing because it's a two-way conversation, unlike a billboard. With a billboard, there's only one way conversation, right? You're telling somebody something. With digital marketing, you can respond, you can answer questions. I think a lot of people only do that on their organic content with social media. And with ads, you have that opportunity too. And I think you'll find that if you engage with your comments on your ads will blow up even more. And so that two-way conversation is really important.
And I'll pop in and say, kind of similar, but also different to what Jen just said, is if people are getting off, and you need to have a mix. And I'll say that right off the bat, you know, for a while it was TV. Now people are not watching broadcast TV. They're streaming everything. I know a lot of, my generation has gotten off of social media, but you can't escape the internet. So if you're not doing social media ads, you need to be doing something else that's targeting a larger audience who is using the internet, whether that's some banner ads, some Google ads. But I think it's really healthy to have a mix, because people that are using one platform may not be using another one, or people that are using you know uh, we'll say Peacock, or not typically also subscribing to cable. So just kind of keeping that in mind and making sure that you have a mix of digital marketing strategy is important. And I know it's expensive, but kind of spreading your budget is going to help you reach a broader audience and not miss a huge audience.
Email addresses are here on this last slide. So if you digest this and have any questions not next week, we will be closed, but how about after the 6th? We're going to circle back to the new year. If you have any questions after the 6th, feel free to email us, and we are happy to help or give you some more tips and tricks, or whatever you need.
Thank you so much. You both did a wonderful job with lots of information. Again, to everybody, we appreciate you joining us, and this has been recorded, and it'll be uploaded to our New Knowledge YouTube channel as soon as I can get that done. And I will email it all out to you with a link to that New Knowledge YouTube, as well as their slides. And I wanted to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. We have, this is our last session for the 2024 year. And our first class in 2025 is going to be January 15th, the importance of developing a business plan. And that speaker is Dan Rice, who is with River Feet Fly Fishing, who's been very successful with his business. He was a first place winner for our business challenge 2 years ago. So he's going to do a great job. And Letterpress always does a great job for us, and we so much appreciate them. So again, hope you all have a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see you in 2020. Thank you.